So my ex, Jake, and I were together for 3 years. The first 2 years were fine, Netflix, takeout, normal couple stuff. The third year? Psychological warfare. Dude went full FBI agent on me, checking my phone, demanding alibis if I came home 15 minutes late from grocery shopping, and making jokes about me cheating in front of friends. If I got upset, he'd pull the classic gaslight, wow, guilty people get defensive. Plot twist. I never cheated. Not even close. Meanwhile, this clown was out here cosplaying as Tinder's MVP. My best friend Teresa found his dating profile. Bio said he was single and looking for fun. Oh yeah, buddy, nothing screams single like splitting Wi-Fi bills with me. She even matched with him using a fake account. Within hours he's complaining about his psycho ex and me, but admits he's keeping me around because I cook, clean, and pay half the rent. Imagine calling your girlfriend your Roomba with a debit card. The screenshots were brutal. He told other women I was hideous, that he gagged when I kissed him. One girl actually said, "You're such a saint for putting up with her." Babe, saints don't expense their side chicks to a joint account. So Teresa and I recruited my cousin Vicky, aka the hotter version of me, according to my entire family. She accidentally met Jake at his gym, and boom, he was drooling. Within a week, Jake was taking her to $200 dinners he never once offered me. Vicky played it perfectly, acting impressed while draining his bank account like a leaky faucet. Jewelry, spa cash, designer bags, all of which mysteriously ended up in my possession. Revenge fund equals thriving. Meanwhile, I played the loyal, clueless girlfriend. Still cooking his meals, still folding his laundry, smiling through the stench of another woman's perfume. He thought he was living a double life, but really he was just sponsoring girls' night. The cherry on top. One weekend, he went on a business trip. Translation, luxury resort with Vicky. Except Vicky bailed last minute, crying about her grandma, Oscar-worthy. Jake ate that $1,200 trip alone, while Teresa and I used his cash to sip mimosas at a spa in town. Every time Jake thought he was winning, he was really just funding my relaxation package. The man called me dead weight, but honestly, I've never felt lighter. Operation Drain Jake's wallet was going better than any of us could have planned. By month 3, the man was a walking ATM with a receding hairline from the stress. Vicky had him whipped so hard he was practically barking for belly rubs. He'd pawned his vintage guitar, sold his crypto, and was one bad day away from asking kids outside a 7-Eleven if they wanted to buy a slightly used kidney. Meanwhile, my cousin, my best friend, and I were living like Kardashians with a Patreon sponsor named Jake the Clown. Then came the fishing trip incident. Jake had invited the boys to a weekend of fishing, which was actually code for romantic luxury resort with cousin Vicky. Except Vicky couldn't make it last minute. Shout out to her acting skills, she had him believing grandma was on life support. Instead, she handed me the reservation details, and the second Jake left for work, I grabbed Teresa, packed my bags, and drove straight to that bougie resort he'd paid for. The front desk didn't even blink when I checked in with his reservation. Jake's card, Jake's name, Jake's problem. Teresa and I spent the weekend getting hot stone massages, hiking with private guides, ordering room service like royalty. Meanwhile, Jake was texting Vicky sad boy paragraphs about how he was making the best of it on his fishing trip. Bro, the only fish you caught was a bill for champagne I drank in a hot tub. And the scams kept rolling in. The birthday present scheme. Iconic. Vicky told Jake her best friend's birthday was coming up, and she really wanted to get her something special. He immediately offered cash and bought an expensive designer bag. Vicky handed it to me a week later for my birthday. I wore that bag on dates with Jake. The man even complimented it once, saying it looked expensive. I smiled and said Teresa got it for me. Not a lie. By month 4, Jake was unraveling. He started leaving receipts in his laundry. Yes, I still did his laundry. I'm not above weaponized domesticity. Once, he even called me Vicky in his sleep. I nearly bit through my tongue holding back laughter. Our revenge fund had grown to nearly $4,000, and Teresa and I were rotating spa days like a subscription box. Jake, meanwhile, started crying about finances and asked if I could cover rent and utilities because things were tight. Tight? Buddy, your wallet's tight because it's holding on to debt like a toddler with a Lego. Of course, the second he whined about being broke, Vicky hit him with the "oh, my car broke down" trick. Within hours, he produced $600 out of thin air. We split it 3 ways and went shopping while her car sat perfectly fine in my apartment complex. Thanks, Jake. But the piece de resistance was Bora Bora. Vicky dangled pictures of overwater bungalows like a carrot on a stick, and Jake lost his damn mind. He was Googling how to afford Bora Bora on a budget like it was a BuzzFeed quiz. To fund it, he pawned his dead grandfather's watch, sentimental value. Never heard of her, sold guitars, liquidated crypto, and finally took out a $15,000 loan. All for a woman who couldn't make it to a weekend resort 3 months earlier. Meanwhile, I was sipping champagne at a hot springs resort Jake once promised me we couldn't afford. Paid for by Jake's fake car repair money. The irony was so delicious it should have been a Michelin-starred meal. But then came the plot twist of the century. One night, Jake gets all serious. My heart's pounding, I think he's about to dump me so he can finally commit to Vicky. I'm rehearsing my fake devastated face when this absolute idiot drops to one knee. Proposing. With a ring so tiny I almost needed a microscope. He starts babbling about realizing what he had and wanting to start fresh. This man. Proposing to me while planning a $1,000 a night Bora Bora trip with my cousin. I was too stunned to even laugh. I cried, half rage, half comedy tears, and told him I needed time. Jake thought I was emotional about the proposal. No, babe, I was emotional about the fact that I was playing chess while you were drooling on the checkers board. I pretended to go stay with my parents for space, but really moved in with Teresa temporarily. Jake thought he was buying time to sneak Vicky over. In reality, I was building an escape plan with a side of spa treatments. The audacity didn't stop. 10 days later, he asks me to meet for coffee. I go wired up with Teresa and Vicky listening from the car. He doesn't suspect a thing. He's not suspicious because, frankly, he's not smart enough. What does Jake want? My forgiveness? My love? Nope. My credit. He admits he's drowning in debt, shocking, I know, and wants me to take out a loan in my name to help him consolidate. Promises he'll pay me back. Promises it's temporary. Promises it'll be the first step in our future together. This man spent thousands romancing my cousin, and now wanted me to go into debt to clean up his mess. I sipped my latte, resisted the urge to baptize him with it, and said, I'll think about it. I walked out of that cafe, straight into Teresa's car, and we laughed so hard we nearly choked. Jake thought he was the puppeteer, but really, he was just a marionette dancing on strings we'd been pulling for months. And the final show? Oh, that was still coming. Jake thought he was living in a rom-com where he was the charming bad boy. In reality, he was starring in a low-budget documentary called How to Ruin Your Life in 12 Easy Payments. Phase 1 was simple. My cousin Vicky dangled the promise of luxury vacations and true love, and Jake took the bait like a starving raccoon in a dumpster. He even borrowed money from his brother to lock in a non-refundable $17,000 Bora Bora trip. Nothing screams financial stability like begging your family for flight money while lying to your girlfriend. Meanwhile, he was still trying to hustle me for a $25,000 loan. His pitch? It's for our future. Translation: please subsidize the tropical cheating adventure I booked with your cousin. The audacity could power a small city. I played along, all smiles and, maybe baby, vibes, while moving my stuff into a new apartment behind his back. By the time he left for the airport, I was sipping champagne with Vicky and Teresa, watching him on the terminal security feed like it was Netflix Live. At 8:45 a.m., as Jake strutted to the check-in counter, dreaming of mojitos and beach sex, Vicky sent the kill shot. Camera with flash: a selfie of the three of us, middle fingers up. Caption: surprise, loser. Enjoy your $17,000 vacation for one. Your girlfriend knows everything. Jake froze mid-step. His face went through all 5 stages of grief in under a minute: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and holy sh*t I'm broke. Then he slumped onto a bench, spamming our phones like a rejected extra on Catfish. Blocked. Everywhere. While Jake spiraled, I left him a goodbye note back at the apartment with a neat little dossier of his nastiest texts about me: she's ugly, she's basically my Roomba with rent money. I warned him if he ever harassed me or Vicky, the whole file was going to his parents, his boss, and the internet. Instant behavior control. What happened next? Chef's kiss. Wine glass. Jake lost the trip. Non-refundable. His credit score is now in a medically induced coma. He moved back in with his parents at 30. He works 2 jobs to pay off debt while I strut around in designer heels he unknowingly funded. Our spa getaway with the revenge fund was absolute heaven. The man even showed up drunk at my building at 3 a.m., sobbing into my Ring camera about the biggest mistake of his life. I watched the feed from bed, forwarded it to Vicky and Teresa so we could laugh, then had security escort him off the property like yesterday's trash. Jake once told people I was dead weight. Funny, because ever since I cut him off, my life has been light, fabulous, and debt-free. And him? Well, he's got a lifetime of Bora Bora FOMO. Karma's AB*TCH, but in this case. She's also wearing my new diamond necklace.